I, 24 male, caught my sister, 26 female, trying to steal a watch of mine. And now my mother, 51 female, wants me to apologize to her. So last night, I had some people over to celebrate moving into my new place. I had some family and friends, including my sister and my mother. For context, when I was growing up with my sister, she would often steal from myself and other family members. Money from my mom's purse or dad's wallet. She'd sneak into my room and take things. Even steal money from our grandparents, etc. We aren't very close because of this, and I always try to keep an eye on her when she's around. Despite this, I decided to invite my sister over because she doesn't live too far away, and I know my mom would have been upset if I didn't. I put all my watches and valuables in my safe, but I left out the watch I had planned on wearing that night, but ended up not wearing it and leaving it on my dresser. At one point during the party, my sister asked me where the bathroom was, and I pointed down the hallway and told her the bathroom was on the left. A couple minutes later, I went to go grab something from my room and saw her come out of my room as I was walking down the hall. She gave me this startled deer in the headlights look and said she was looking for the bathroom and walked away really quickly. I immediately got worried and went to do a quick look around my room. I immediately noticed a watch missing from the top of my dresser. This isn't some cheap $20 watch. I paid over $30,000 for it earlier this year. So I left my room and went straight to my sister to confront her. I pulled her off to the side so it wouldn't cause a scene and told her that I knew she took my watch, and if she gave it back right then, I wouldn't call the cops. She got extremely defensive and started yelling about how she didn't take anything from me and how I'm an a-hole, etc. At this point, a lot of people were staring and listening. She told me she was leaving and started heading toward the door, but I knew if she left, I might never see my watch again. So I grabbed her purse from her and dumped everything on the ground. Sure enough, there is my watch right there on the ground with the rest of the stuff from her purse. My sister screamed at me and called me a freaking a-hole and scooped up most of her stuff and ran out of my place. My mom followed her out and ended up not returning to the party. So after an awkward rest of the party, I got a call from my mom. She was mad at me. I got some long lecture about how I didn't need to humiliate my sister in front of everyone at a party, how she couldn't help herself, and that my sister is crying and upset now because of the scene I caused. She also got mad at me for going through my sister's purse and told me that I should never look in a lady's purse, and it was a complete invasion of privacy. First of all, I tried to pull my sister off to the side. She was the one who started yelling at me and causing a scene that made everyone look over at her. I also wouldn't have to go through her purse if she didn't steal from me and deny it and try to leave. I'm not just going to risk losing a $30,000 watch because I shouldn't look through a lady's purse. So now my mom wants me to not only apologize to my sister, but to tell all the guests that were there that it was a big misunderstanding and my sister didn't take anything. I'm really not sure what I should do about my mom. There is no way I'm going to apologize to my sister. She should be the one apologizing to me. And I'm certainly not going to lie to my house guests to get my sister out of the awkward mess she created for herself. I also don't know what to do about my sister. At this point, I'm pretty much just done with her. I think she should be the one apologizing, but I doubt she will ever do that. Thanks in advance for any advice. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. If you want to be snarky, you could point out it would have been even more embarrassing for your sister to have been arrested. Honestly, I don't have good advice for handling your mom. As far as your sister goes, it's time for the kid gloves to come off. If she steals from you again, treat her like the thief she is and call the cops. Don't bother lying to the guests. That'd be enabling. I would say don't give the sister a chance to steal again. If someone tried to steal $30,000 off me, that's it. We're done. I would refuse to see them in any capacity whatsoever. A good idea. But from the explanation given, I made the assumption that family dynamics may end up putting Opie and his sister in a similar situation again. Wait, why did your mom say your sister couldn't help it? What makes your mom think your sister can't help stealing? There's obvious history here, that you even mentioned, of her stealing. Has your family just always swept it under the rug and enabled it? Almost certainly some kind of kleptomania, although not a very severe one if she's only stealing from friends and family. But still, that would be enough for some mothers to claim their child should be pitied and not punished. Now for the first update. I invited my mom to lunch so that we could discuss what happened at the party and where to go from there. I explained to her that my sister stole a very expensive watch from me. It wasn't just some trinket, and it shouldn't matter even if it was. I tried to pull her away and confront her in private, but she chose to yell and curse at me and cause a scene. I also told her that I understand it is never okay to look into someone's private purse or bag, but that sort of etiquette goes out the window when tens of thousands of dollars of my stolen property is in her purse. My mom then went on a long rant about how we are all family, and that her and my sister believe that a family should share in each other's success. She told me that my sister was just upset because I was hoarding all of my money for myself, and that is understandable what she did. Mom said that I would never have gotten where I am today without all the work she put into raising me and the influence her and my sister had on my life. Then she went on to tell me that I owe it to her to evenly share my success with her and my sister, since we are family, and they would certainly do the same in my position, which was laughable. At this point, I'm pretty dumbfounded. Not only because she thinks my sister's actions were somehow justified, but because she credits herself for my success and thinks it's selfish of me not to share with her and my sister. And don't even get me started on her trying to act like her and my sister would do the same. I know for a fact my sister would not give me a dime if I were 10 cents short for a heart transplant. And my mom still owes me tens of thousands of dollars that she borrowed and swore she would pay back, which I don't expect back and wrote it off as soon as I gave it to her. I just can't even fathom how my mom could actually think like that. At that point, I was so furious and didn't want to say anything I'd regret, so I got up and walked out. Oh yeah, I also got a text half an hour later saying that I owed her money for lunch since I was the one who invited her, despite the fact that neither of us had even ordered before I left. As far as my sister goes, I haven't contacted her and she hasn't contacted me. At this point, I'm just done with her in my life. I don't know if I should do the same for my mother though. I would hate to not have a relationship with her, but I just can't believe how she could possibly think those things. Would love some advice on what to do as far as my relationship with my mother goes. Thanks. I was amazed that your mother reacted the way she initially did, and figured it was because she didn't know the whole story. After reading this update, I'm dumbfounded and angry. Both of their greed will not go away anytime soon, I think, especially with your mother crediting herself with your hard-earned success. You are probably better off without having either of them in your life. Right? Like if Opie's sister had tried to steal a $30,000 watch from a shop or a stranger, she would be in jail right now. So not only is Opie supposed to forgive his sister, he's supposed to enable it and give her more? WTF? Would love some advice on what to do as far as my relationship with my mother goes. I would keep it at the bare minimum. They see you as a cash cow, and you need to stop the flow of money immediately. That means no more loans, and no discussion of finances, period. I'd cut off contact, complete and absolute, until I was apologized to and the finances were never again to be discussed. Second update. Small update I thought I'd post. She called me but I didn't want to talk, so I let it go to voicemail, and she left a voicemail telling me to check my email. Here's her email. First of all, it was very rude of you to walk out on me at the cafe. I was humiliated, and you should know better than to treat your mother like that. As I said in the text, you owe me money for lunch since you were the one who invited me, so please bring $60 to give to me at Craig's Barbecue. It is a shame that I even need to be telling you this. I know I raised you better than that, but you really need to start supporting this family. We are all one, and the success of any individual needs to be spread around the family. Your sister works as a pastry chef and is always more than happy to bake for everyone and brings us treats from work. I wish you would do the same. You can start out by helping me with the new apartment I'm moving to. The rent is $4,250 per month, not including utilities, and I'm planning on moving in around the 1st of September. So that gives you plenty of time to set up some sort of monthly bank transfer. I'm going to need $8,500 in about 2 weeks for the first and last month's rent. I'll also need you to come over a few times this month to help move my stuff over there. Bring the bigger truck, unless that's the manual because Todd doesn't know how to drive stick. As a thanks for moving my things over there, I will cover the security deposit myself so you don't even need to worry about it. And you still haven't apologized to your sister, so please get that done this week. It will take 5 minutes tops, so just get it done. It was wrong to humiliate her like that, and guess you had to be the one comforting her. Me? Like usual, text me to confirm that you got everything and let me know how soon you can bring the big truck over. I should also mention that I currently pay for her rent, But after some long guilt trip about how she gave me free food and housing for 18 years, so it's time for me to repay the favor, I can clearly see now that that was a big mistake. And now she just assumes I'm going to pay her rent at some new huge place that costs twice as much and that she doesn't need? At this point, I'm done giving her any support. She clearly has no appreciation for it. Third update. So I just sent my mom an email letting her know that I will not be giving her any more money. Here's the gist of it. I will not be paying the rent for the new, more expensive apartment you want to move in. Not only will I not be paying for that, but I won't be paying for your rent for any apartments anymore. You will have to do that yourself. In addition to that, I will not be giving you any money whatsoever. You have shown that you have no respect for me or the work it takes to earn money, and I cannot continue to pay for things you don't need. I know this means cutting back a bit, but there is no reason for you to be living outside your means, and I won't subsidize your expensive lifestyle. I wrote it all out completely different, but that's the gist of what I told her. So just waiting for the freak out I'm sure is going to happen. Last update. After going through all the comments, thanks for the advice by the way, I decided to send my mother an email letting her know that I will absolutely not be paying for the new place she made plans to move to, and that I will stop paying her rent altogether. I told her that she clearly does not respect me or the work I put in order for me to be in a position to give her the money that I do. I also told her that I would not be financially supporting her in any way. A few hours after I sent the email, my phone starts blowing up. Calls over and over again. I still really didn't want to talk to her, so I ignored them all. A little while later, I get a call from my friend Dave, except when I answered the phone, it's my mom. I found out later from Dave that she showed up at a bike shop he works at and made up some story about her locking her purse with her phone and keys in the car and needing to call me for a ride. She immediately goes off on me about how ungrateful I am and that she's disgusted by the email I sent, etc. She told me that it's my duty to make sure she's well cared for and comfortable, as she's the reason I'm here in the first place. The worst part was when she told me that if she knew I was going to end up this way, that she wouldn't have put her life on hold for the last 2 decades in order to have me, and that I costed her her job and my dad and a bunch of her life plans. I couldn't even get a word in with all her yelling. The last thing she said was something along the lines of, "You need to have a come-to-Jesus moment and realize how much you are hurting your mother." I have already packed up most of my stuff, and I've spent a ton of time setting this move up. I expect the $8,500 before the weekend is over in a cashier's check, so let me know when you have it. And then she hung up. I don't think I have even been so mad in my entire life. She pretty much just told me that I need to make up for everything she missed out on in order to have me, by giving her money and making sure she's taken care of. I called her back and she tried to start talking, and I don't remember exactly what I said because I was so angry. But I basically told her to shut the hell up and let me talk, but with more swearing and yelling. I'm usually pretty calm and would never swear at my mom. I would never even swear near her. And I know I shouldn't have said that, but I wasn't thinking straight. I told her she better find another place to live or pay her rent herself, because she wasn't getting another dime from me. I turned my phone off after that because I didn't want to deal with any more calls or texts. I eventually needed to use my phone, so I turned it back on and just blocked her number. I saw that I had some calls/messages from her, but I didn't want to look at them. This morning, I got a call from the front desk at my building telling me that my mom had tried to get up to my room, but I had already told the elevator staff/security to take her off my guest list. Apparently, she caused quite the fuss when they wouldn't let her up. She's blocked on my phone now, so I haven't heard from her today yet. But I expect her to blow up on me again for what happened this morning. I think she's probably in denial and thinks that I will cave and pay for her new place. I'm worried about what she's going to do when the deadline for her to pay for her new place comes up, and I refuse to give her any money. The move-in date is pretty soon, and I'm sure she has to pay it pretty soon. I'm actually surprised she hasn't had to pay already. So that's going to cause a massive crapstorm. I'm really worried about what she's going to do. Thanks again for all the advice. Final comments. I can see where the sister gets it from. Yeah, something tells me Opie's mom was in on the watch stealing. Imagine being so stupid you blew up your entire life, all because you couldn't reprimand your daughter for having sticky fingers. Glad Opie got away from that crap stain of a mother. She didn't even need to actually do anything to the daughter. She could have kept her stupid mouth shut and continued living life on easy street. But God forbid her golden child get called out on her BS. She literally did not think the sister did anything wrong. So why would she ever reprimand her? In her mind, everything she said about OP owing her for giving his life, and also owing the family because he was so successful, all of that is a fact, and she will live and die by that belief. She never thought she was blowing up her life. She fully expected to get everything she was demanding. Absolutely crazy level of delusion. Wow, and he was paying the mother's rent. Way to bite the hand that feeds you. Mom not only bit it, she chewed it up, swallowed it, digested it, and popped it out at the back end.